Today, we've got to talk about Lonzo Ball because the oldest of the Ball brothers has responded after his father, LaVar Ball, publicly discussed his divorce from Tina Ball. As soon as those comments made headlines, I figured their sons would have some feelings about the situation. Like I mentioned in my earlier video, none of us knows exactly what happened behind closed doors. We weren't part of their day-to-day lives, so it wouldn't be fair to speculate about the reasons for the divorce. What the public did see over the years was their family's journey through their reality show and the many moments they shared together. People also watched Tina battle through a very difficult period after suffering a stroke, and thankfully she's continued her recovery. More recently, LaVar has faced his own serious health challenge after undergoing a leg amputation. Considering everything the family has experienced publicly, it caught many people by surprise when LaVar revealed that he and Tina had divorced. Until then, most fans hadn't heard anything suggesting they had gone their separate ways. The Ball family spent years in the spotlight. Between the popularity of their reality series, the launch of the Big Baller brand, the Junior Basketball Association, JBA, and the time LaMelo Ball spent playing overseas, there was constant public attention on what they were doing. Because so much of their lives played out in front of the cameras, news of the divorce naturally became a major talking point. Still, the public doesn't know the full story behind why their marriage ended. Now, Lonzo Ball has responded to his father's comments. But before we get into what Lonzo had to say, let's first take a look back at what LaVar said during the interview.
With my wife, who Tina decided to go her own way. That's why you don't see it right here. But she want to go do something else, that's fine with me. We had our run. So even though she had the stroke and getting older, she would never be like, oh man, she was always beautiful in my eyes until you say, I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
Now you're not as beautiful to me again. And the fact that if you decide to go this way, I'm gonna go that way, that's fine.
That's deep.
It is what it is, man. And like I said, anytime you can find somebody you can stay in love with for a long time, or for one day or whatever, if you can witness that love, that's good. I had that with her. And I found somebody else. But it is what it is.
Wait, who?
No need to worry. And you know
Sorry,
what?
I'm moving.
Go ahead.
For my when I have my wife, I'm gonna make sure that she don't gotta work, nothing. Like I'm gonna give her everything.
Right.
Literally everything.
But listen, don't give her too much.
No, I'm gonna give her the world.
Yeah, don't give her too much though, because she
Why?
go crazy. Let her do something. Bring something to the table. Let her
Love.
bring something to the table. Yeah, but it's more than love. You gonna get some love from somebody that's free. But anyways, let me tell you this. Let her do something. Don't give her everything. As long as she don't ask for nothing, then you give her a lot. But don't give her too much. Because then she gonna do something else, because that's gonna fade out. That's gonna fade out. Don't give her too much.
First and foremost, I want to say I love both my parents, but the situation that is put before y'all is not how it went down. I'm not about to get into all the details. But long story short, my mom didn't want to leave. She was quote unquote, damn near forced to leave. I helped her leave. I'm glad she left. She's in a great spot. Shout out to Dip. Put her up nice. So she's good. My pops is good. They obviously don't fuck with each other. But I fuck with them both. And she was not wrong at all. She did not leave him because he lost his foot. That's a myth that was put out there. What else have I seen? I don't know. But my dad did a great job raising us. My mom did a great job raising us. They didn't work out, and it is what it is, man. They both doing well, and I love them both. We can move on now, unless you want to say something.
Well said, Duke.
Today, one of the first things that crossed my mind when this story came out was how difficult it must have been for the Ball brothers. Whenever one parent publicly talks about the other in the middle of a divorce or family dispute, it's almost impossible for the children not to be affected. At the end of the day, those are still both of your parents. No matter whose side people choose or what version of events gets shared publicly, the children are usually the ones caught in the middle. That's exactly what I was thinking when LaVar's comments first started making headlines. You also have to remember that the Ball family has spent years living in the public eye. Because of that, the moment personal news like this becomes public, people immediately start asking questions. Some fans are respectful, but there are always others who feel entitled to know every private detail. They'll ask questions that really aren't any of their business, especially during a difficult time. It's similar to when someone loses a loved one. Sometimes people will walk up to grieving family members and immediately ask, "What happened?" or "How did they die?" even if they barely knew the person. The people who truly need to know those details usually already do. Everyone else can simply offer their support and wait until the family is ready to share anything publicly. I only use that comparison because I can imagine the type of questions Lonzo, LaMelo, and Gilo have probably been dealing with since this story broke. That's why it wasn't surprising to see Lonzo Ball respond. As the oldest brother, it seems like he felt a responsibility to speak up after hearing how the situation was being described publicly. From Lonzo's perspective, the story being told didn't accurately represent his mother, Tina Ball, or the circumstances surrounding the separation. He wanted to make it clear that he personally helped his mother leave, and that the situation wasn't as simple as it was being portrayed. That's a significant statement because it directly challenges the public narrative that had been developing after LaVar's interview. According to Lonzo, there was much more happening behind the scenes than people realized. Of course, only the family truly knows everything that happened, but it's understandable why he would want to defend his mother if he believed she wasn't being represented fairly. Another reason people began speculating because some of LaVar's comments were fairly open-ended. He suggested that Tina wanted something different, and he simply moved on. Statements like that naturally leave room for interpretation, and once that happens, social media fills in the blanks with theories and assumptions. Over the years, there have also been former associates connected to Big Baller Brand who have made various claims about LaVar and his personal life. One former business associate even alleged that there had been infidelity during the marriage. However, it's important to remember that those are allegations and not verified facts. Since that individual and LaVar reportedly had their own disagreements, it's difficult to know exactly how much weight should be given to those claims without independent confirmation. Personally, I never wanted to go too deep into those allegations because none of us were actually there. It's easy to repeat rumors online, but that doesn't necessarily make them true. At the end of the day, speculation only adds more noise to an already personal family matter. In fact, this will probably be my last time discussing this situation. I already made a previous video covering the initial reports after it was revealed that Tina had left following LaVar's leg amputation. Since Lonzo has now publicly clarified his perspective, I felt it was only fair to cover his response as well. Beyond that, I don't really see much value in continuing to make videos about such a private issue. The biggest reason I wanted to address Lonzo's comments because the earlier reports left many people believing that Tina simply walked away because of LaVar's health challenges after his amputation. Lonzo is now saying that wasn't the case at all. According to him, his mother didn't want to leave voluntarily, she was forced to leave. That's an incredibly strong statement coming from someone who actually lived in that household and witnessed the situation firsthand. Again, that doesn't automatically mean any of us know the full story. It simply means Lonzo felt strongly enough to publicly defend his mother after hearing how the situation was being discussed publicly. That alone tells you how personal this is for him. What's also interesting is how the other Ball brothers have responded. LaMelo Ball hasn't publicly commented on the situation, at least not in any significant way. LiAngelo Ball, Gilo, however, appeared to support what Lonzo was saying. While he didn't go into great detail himself, many people interpreted his reaction as backing his older brother's account of what happened. When it comes to family situations like this, children don't always know every single detail either. That's something most people realize as they get older. Many adults eventually learn that certain things they believed about their parents' relationship weren't exactly how they remembered or understood them growing up. Sometimes there are conversations, struggles, and decisions that children simply aren't aware of until much later in life. Even with that being said, the Ball brothers probably have a much closer understanding of the situation than anyone watching from the outside. They lived with both parents. They witnessed the day-to-day interactions, the disagreements, the happy moments, the difficult moments, and everything in between. They experienced things the public never saw, regardless of how much of their lives played out on television. At the same time, it's worth recognizing that they haven't chosen to reveal every private detail publicly, and I actually respect that. We've seen situations where celebrity children expose every family secret once relationships fall apart. Sometimes those stories need to be told, especially if there's serious wrongdoing involved. Other times, keeping certain matters private shows maturity and respect for everyone involved. The Ball brothers have largely avoided turning this into a public back and forth, even though they've certainly had opportunities to do so. Lonzo spoke because he felt his mother deserved to be defended, but he still stopped well short of exposing every detail of what happened behind closed doors. That says a lot. Hopefully, over time, LaVar and Tina can at least reach a place where they're able to be cordial with one another. Regardless of what happened between them as husband and wife, they'll always share 3 sons whose lives continue to play out in the public eye. Maintaining some level of peace would benefit everyone involved.